Matsumoto, the one from the University of Southern
That's
California.
him, Matsumoto, yeah. He told me about it. He had his grandfather and grandmother were in Japan, and he went to see them, and he got caught over there when this thing started.
Yes. Were there ever any times when a POW refused to go into the mine?
Not to my knowledge. You got your head cut off if you did right now.
That was what you felt? That
You knew.
You knew that was going to happen. Where you, the job details you've described, did you feel this was a dangerous job?
Absolutely, no question about it.
And you had a G-string and you had your little
Minor
plastic minor cap.
Yeah.
Were there other protective gear such as
Nothing.
helmets or masks?
No gloves, no nothing.
Were there any accidents at your work site?
Well, I got hurt.
You got hurt? What happened to
Big
you?
rock fell over and broke my leg.
A rock broke your
A
leg.
great big rock. It was probably weighed 400 or 500 pounds. It was just sitting on edge and it just tipped over. And I only weighed about 85 pounds at the time. But I had been transferred from the loading head down into hard rock. And that's another story.
You weighed 85 pounds at that time,
At that-
down
yeah.
from what weight? That
Well,
was-
my original weight was about 170.
Mhm.
And
You had lost around 90 pounds.
yeah, I lost a lot of pounds. And when I got transferred out of 5 into 10, which was the hard rock section, then the food got real bad. And that's when I lost a lot of weight. And the work down in that hard rock section was just horrible. It was really, it was big rocks you had to carry. And it was...
And one of these big rocks fell
And
on
one
your
of them-
leg. And
yeah.
how far down in the mine shaft were you in
I
that
was
mine?
on the bottom, 1,600 feet.
1,600 feet. And what happened then when your leg broke?
They picked a rock off of me, and I don't know whether it was 4 or 5 or 6 men. They put me on like a wooden stretcher, and we had to go up, I think it was 5 or 6 levels to get to where the train was that came down. And when they had to carry me up just through a hole in the ground, and I was just hanging on that stretcher, and those guys, because I couldn't support my own weight. There was no way.
And then did your leg heal, or what happened?
No, when they brought me up to the boulder room, and it was cold. It was in the wintertime. It was right shortly after either Christmas or New Year's, I forget which. It was between Christmas and New Year's that I got hurt. I know that to be a fact. But it was shortly after that. And then when they brought me up in the boulder room, there was no heat in the boulder room. There wasn't even any windows in the boulder room. And all it was just a cinder block, a square cinder block building with a statue of Buddha sitting up on one end. And they laid me there. The Japanese wouldn't let them take me back into camp. They had to go back down and go to work. And I laid there.
You lay there
on a piece on concrete
with
for,
your broken leg.
Yeah,
and
for
then
about 3. The only thing that saved my life at that time, according to Dr. Hewlett, was it was so cold, my blood got so thick that it wouldn't run, and I didn't bleed to death. And my pulse was so low, my blood pressure was about 42 when they brought me in camp. It was really low.
And Dr. Hewlett was your POW?
He was the American doctor,
Yes.
yeah.
And then what happened when you finally got to camp?
Well, he tried to save my leg for, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, it was all so vague to me. But he tried to save my leg. I remember him setting it with wood, with boards. But because my bones were so brittle
From
malnutrition, that when they broke right straight off. They didn't splinter like an American bone. It broke just like an old dead twig. And he couldn't set it with boards. And the Japanese wouldn't give him any plaster of Paris.
They wouldn't?
No, they refused to give him any plaster of Paris. And when Doc, he kept trying to save my leg until gangrene set in. And when gangrene set in, I don't know how he got him to do it, but they put me on the back of a three-wheel wood-burning motorcycle on the back step and took me to the hospital to take x-rays of my leg so he could tell how high to cut my leg off. That was the most thrilling ride I ever had. I crossed about 16 railroad tracks, and the guy driving it was scared to death. That was a tough ride, I'll tell you, over and back.
And so then Dr. Hewlett
And then Dr.
amputated.
Hewlett, that night, he laid me up on a table in the medical shack, and he had a sheet of real bright metal. I don't know where he got it, and he had lights under it so you could see real good. And he took my leg off.
He took your leg off. Did you have anesthetic?
No, I asked him, I said, Doc, you got an aspirin tablet, drink whiskey or something you can give me? And he said, if I had it, I'd take it myself.
Oh, really?
That's exactly what he said.
So that for the rest of your life, you have been without a leg. You have a
Yeah,
prosthesis.
you can't grow them back on, they just don't work.